All right, welcome back to SportsLine, everybody. John Burton and the voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, with us for the entire hour. Great to have you here, man.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
737-7767 is the number to call. We are previewing Titans training camp. Players report on Friday. First practice Saturday afternoon, 2:30 over at St. Thomas Sports Park. That is open to the public.
Yes.
And
I think we have 10 practices open, 9 or 10 practices open to the public.
So you're going to get an opportunity, and I think the crowds are going to be pretty big this year, don't you? There's a lot of curiosity and intrigue about this year's team, and a lot of buzz too. I mean, have you felt the positive buzz?
It's been unreal.
Yeah.
It's been, you know.
I mean, I know you travel a lot on behalf of the team and all those kinds of things.
Season ticket sales have gone back up, and you know the excitement that people feel, the optimism that people feel. I was in Memphis on Monday night and talking to fans, and they just, you know, they can't wait to get up here, and in Jackson and in Union City and Knoxville last week. And people just sense that they're excited about Mariota. But, you know, the other thing, too, is to get these SEC players and these, you know, the Heisman Trophy winners and to get DeMarco Murray, who was the offensive player of the year in the league just 2 years ago. And he was a Dallas Cowboy, so you saw him on TV 16 times. You see the Cowboys every week.
Yeah, I know.
But they're, you know, you understand there's a star part of it too.
Yeah.
And these are your guys. And with all these moves the Titans made, too, they got back in the national headlines.
They did, yeah.
And as a Titans fan, it had been years since you had been talked about like they were when they made the DeMarco Murray trade, when they traded out of the #1 pick, what they did on draft night, the incredible draft grades that they've gotten, the free agents they've picked up, you know, and having Mariota, and there's just a perspective that Titans fans now have that's got them going again, because they know these names and they're excited about this football team, and they deserve it. They've been through too much. Time to win.
It really is. I want to get to the whole running back situation first, but you mentioned the offseason, the free agents, and we're going to talk about the draft too. But I think one of the more maybe under the radar free agent signings they had. How about bringing in a guy like Matt Castle, well-traveled veteran, a guy that's going to come in, understand his role. I'm here as insurance in case something happens to Marcus. It's my job to help Marcus, you know, understand the offense, understand the pro game. I think that was a very underrated move by John Robinson to bring in a good veteran quarterback like Matt Castle. And if something happens to Mariota and he misses 2 or 3 games, well, maybe Castle can come in there and win you maybe 2 out of those 3 games or keep you competitive.
Well, he started over 100 games in the league. He's 34 years old. Certainly understands what it's like to be the backup quarterback, and John Robinson knew him well in New England. People forget that's where Matt Castle, he's had several stops since, but that's where he began as a 7th-round pick with the New England Patriots. Mike Mularkey wanted to change that room. He wanted a veteran presence in there for Marcus. And the rationale was Castle was going to be the second-team quarterback. Mettenberger was not. That's why they went ahead and let Mettenberger go to give him a chance to latch on. And he's done it in San Diego. But
back with Wiz.
So. A lot of the changes that Mularkey wanted to make in terms of kind of how the team was set up, about the run game, you know, helping the offensive line with some physicality, getting Ben Jones, adding a Rashard Matthews in the receiving core, and then changing that quarterback room. Let's do all we can during the week and during the ball game to put somebody there when Marcus comes to the sidelines, Matt Castle can sit down and know exactly what was going on out there. Whereas a 25-year-old Mettenberger or an Alex Tanney or another young guy can't quite
Rusty
do that.
Smith.
Right. Rusty's doing a good job coaching football now.
There's a guy, when I first started doing this show 4 years ago, a guy would call in every week and insist that Rusty Smith should be the Titans starting quarterback. I miss him. If you're out there, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you.
He's at Grace Christian. Head football coach.
He's doing great, right?
He's doing great. Yeah, he's going to be. He was a smart football player. You know, had a nice run in the league, and you know, but those young quarterbacks, you like those savvy. You like the Neil O'Donnell types. Neil O'Donnell was a real boon to Steve McNair.
Sure. Because, and he could step in and win you a few games.
And he could step in and he could give you something, and that was a big thing. Having that veteran backup, and I think having Matt Castle is a big deal. I like that signing very much. It made total sense.
All right, so everybody's talking about the running back situation. So let's get to it. You got DeMarco Murray, who they traded for, created a huge buzz in town. a great get. Obviously, it did not work out for him when he left Dallas, went to Philadelphia last year. Chip Kelly's offense is not suited for a one-cut-and-go guy like DeMarco Murray. He's going to be running behind what we hope to be an improved offensive line. And then you have Derrick Henry. So you have an opportunity to really have the physicality that you need to wear down defenses, especially in the fourth quarter when you're going into your 4-minute offense, you're protecting a lead, those kinds of things. How do you see the dynamic between DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry working out this season?
I like the fact that Derrick Henry is not a guy who has to step in and be the guy.
Yeah.
And to learn from a veteran like DeMarco Murray, who has seen it all in his time with Dallas, had a disappointing year last year in Philadelphia, I think it's the perfect setup for Henry to be able to develop. And I like the fact that you're not going to wear down one guy. You also have to understand, too, DeMarco Murray has had some injury things happen in his career. And when they picked Derrick Henry, I'm going to admit, right here with John Burton to my right, I was dumbfounded. We're doing Titans radio, and they pick him, and I nearly fell out of my chair. And I had said on the air, the funny part is, I had said on the air that, okay, they've picked Jack Conklin, they've picked Kevin Dodd, they've picked Austin Johnson, they've gotten 3 big needs. They can kind of do something here to get a good football player who's not necessarily position specific, but just to get the best player available. I had no idea that they would do that. A couple of my buddies like, oh, you knew they were going to. No, I didn't. I wish I did. I wish I could say it right here.
Right.
But when you stop and think about it, it makes total sense.
Okay.
He's exactly the style of player they want. And he's there at 45, so you're paying one back $6 million a year. You're not paying him nearly as much, so he doesn't cost a lot of money to do the same thing. And if DeMarco needs a break, or heaven forbid, not looking for wood to knock on, he gets banged up, then you've got another option. So I think the style of player, the thing that has surprised me the most, my biggest surprise of the entire offseason is how big DeMarco Murray is.
He's a big man.
I knew how big Derrick Henry was. I understood that, and I covered Eddie George for the majority of his career, so he's Eddie George's size. It's very intimidating to talk with him. But I had no idea. In watching TV, I thought DeMarco Murray was the 5'10", 210 kind of. He's nothing like that. He is much taller, much more. He looks like a linebacker to me more than a running back. And so now I understand why he breaks so many tackles. The
guys in the locker room, too, have said a lot of positive things about him. Like, he's already come in and started to establish himself as being kind of a vocal guy. I mean, I think DeMarco's a guy who realizes, hey, I was the NFL rushing champion. I played for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm used to being in the spotlight. I'm used to having a lot of pressure on me. And, you know, that one year when I led the league in the NFL rushing, we had a pretty good year that year. We won 12 games. I need to help teach these guys how to win because they don't really know how to win right now.
Well, and he knows what people are saying, too. Oh, you had so many carries 2 years ago. You're getting near 30. You know, the 1 year was an anomaly. I mean,
our buddy Koharski, the day that he had his press conference, was kind of getting on about that. And, you know, and you could tell DeMarco was like, I'm not old. I still got a lot left in the tank.
But he understands that for backs, those questions are not out of the question. And so he's got to answer them with his play. He can say whatever he wants. Now, the way he looked in OTAs and the mini camps, I mean, he looks like he has lots of gas in the tank. But now we're putting pads on. And things change when you put the pads on. It's like a couple of the young Titans, Tajay Sharp, for example, the wide receiver out of UMass.
Really like him.
Love him. I mean, looked fantastic. But no defensive backs ever put his hands all over him. No NFL defensive backs ever put his hands all over him.
He hasn't gone over the middle to decide, all right, am I going to catch this and take my hit?
That's right. And do we think he can do it? Absolutely. But we don't know.
Now, he got some time with the ones,
Absolutely.
Correct? That is a telltale sign. I mean, he's very productive at UMass, but no offense to anybody, but it's UMass.
Well, but all he is a football player. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the fastest guy. He doesn't have a 71-inch vertical leap. He didn't bench press 225 87 times. And so because of that, you're saying he's just a guy. But all he can do is play football. And there are plenty of those guys. That's a Patriot pick. You know, just like Kevin Byard. Kevin Byard is a Patriot pick. You see the whole John Robinson training in this draft. Building blocks up front, Derrick Henry, an incredible value pick. Now you got 4 picks in the first 45, all of whom were projected by somebody as a first-round pick.
Right.
Then you get Byard, 19 picks at MTSU.
Yes.
Not the best physical center center fielder in terms of athlete, but the guy who's been the most productive. And then you got a guy like Tajay Sharp. Then you take Tortola, the guard.
Yep.
Who fits?
He was a projected first rounder.
Well, he was a projected higher pick, but he does something very specific. Right. He's like Derrick Henry. He does something very specific, so you need him in the right system. And then you take LaShawn Sims and Kalen Reed, 2 defensive backs with a lot of athleticism. Do they play this year? I don't know. Maybe they play teams.
Yeah.
But you like the fact that they can develop. And this is the pattern. Let's not take chances early. Let's take good football players, and then at the back end, let's take athletes who have the opportunity to potentially develop at a position like this.
Good stuff.
I'm
man.
all over the road.
I'm a little excited. I love it. Yeah.
It's Christmas Eve. I'm ready to play.
Let's see if Henry's excited as I die here of coffee.
Don't die.
Henry, what's up, man?
Hey, guys. How you doing, man?
Hi, Henry.
I'm dying, but we got Mike Keith here, so it's good.
Don't die.
I guess
we
you got
ruined
to
the show
recover quick because football season is here, fellas.
That's right.
Yeah, we're excited, man. Are you?
I am very excited. I have a question. First, I have a little comment. I noticed that even at Tennessee, when Justin Hunter catches the football, it always seems to leave his feet. And I'm wondering, in college, you don't have a lot of guys hanging off you catching the ball, and that's fine. You can catch the ball without issue. But in the pros, it seems like he leaves his feet, and the defense is right there, and he can't secure the ball. So I'm wondering if they're working with him on that particular issue, whether he can catch the ball and secure it before the guy actually, while the guy's, trying to make a tackle on him.
They're working on all the fundamentals.
Thanks for the call,
and that
man.
was one
Appreciate
of the
it.
really good hires that they made in this coaching staff was getting Bob Bratkowski in here. They kept Jason Tucker, the assistant wide receiver coach, who I think's got a really bright future, and then they bring in a veteran like Bratkowski, who's been an offensive coordinator and is just he's a ball coach.
Yeah, and he's from a long line of ball coaches.
I mean, Zeke Bratkowski's son. And you look at this staff. I mean, you got Russ Grimm, you got Bob Bratkowski, you got Terry Robisky. You were able to convince Sylvester Croom to keep doing what he does. And then Dick LeBeau on the opposite side, Lou Spanos. And then you got all these good young coaches.
Yeah, my man Deshae Townsend, former Pittsburgh Steelers, guy that I covered for years. Great
Deshae
guy.
Townsend and Steve Jackson coaching the secondary. 2 guys who have done it, and a guy who has done it for Dick LeBeau, and a guy who, Steve Jackson, did it in a lot of ways for this organization. Was an outstanding player. A lot of know-how there. So, yeah, I mean, back to your point about Hunter, you're getting all of that. And I think you see a more relaxed Hunter. I think the change in the spot there overall, not just with the head coach, but the position coach is a good thing for Hunter. And he's on the spot. I mean, let's face it. It's
make or break, right?
It's the last year of a contract.
Can we put it out on the table? It is make or break. They traded up to get this guy. They expected him to be the deep threat, the take the top off the defense guy, allow, openings for guys underneath. And for whatever reason, it hasn't worked. He's dropped some passes. He's been injured. Whatever the reasons are, they are what they are. But it's make or break for this guy.
But the key for Hunter is just play.
Yep.
If you drop a ball, catch the next one.
Exactly.
I mean, just go play. And it seemed like he played tight. And the feeling is that he's going to be able to relax a little bit more. I mean, he has some athletic skills, and they don't have anybody in that group who can jump the way he can or who runs as fast as he does. So, I mean, this is a guy who's a world-class triple jumper. He's a phenomenal athlete. And he's just in the 4th year of a contract, and he was a second-round pick, so he's not terribly expensive. You don't have to get rid of him to save money against the cap, which is a really good thing. So, but he's one of the 10 guys to watch in camp. There's no question about it. He's got to do it the same way Kendall Wright does. Kendall Wright, $7.32 million or whatever last year of his contract. He's got to do it as well.
We come back, we're going to talk about some of Mike's other players to watch this year at camp and some players you should keep your eye on if you're heading out to St. Thomas Sports Park to catch training camp practice. We'll get to that. I got my cough drop in. I think I'm going to be all right. I think I'm going to live.
Nice.
Producer Courtney doing a nice job of getting me a cough drop during this segment. We'll come back more with the voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, and your phone calls. Stay with us.